carrying around a chair for Teja there when the camera flew over the arena.
What?
Like he's carrying the throne for the prince, I guess.
Ah.
Well, look, it's
MVP SC.
SC.
And if he wins this game, he has clinched Code S.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, you're right. Pretty much. There's a
All right.
couple strange possibilities where he could not.
And up at the top of the map from the team FXO, it is. Scary.
Still on the verge of losing out of this group. He is 1-1, but if he loses this game, he'll be 1-2, which is a very difficult situation to come back from. And what is this drone doing?
Well,
oh my goodness. Nope, just checking for proxies.
Here's the thing, is that if he wins this game, he will actually be tied with SC because they will both be 2-1.
Oh, true.
Yeah, so
That's true.
This is a huge game. The outcome of this is going to have a big impact on the group in general.
Indeed.
Hatch first for Lucky. Not anything surprising about that, especially on a map like Daybreak.
I don't know why, for some reason, for a second, I thought that drone was going to be doing a proxy hatch.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, we saw proxy hatch on this map the other day by Xenio.
Yeah, we did actually.
For a proxy hatch into Roach Rush.
That was just weird. Strange idea by Xenio. Didn't have the best day, actually.
No, he actually had the worst day possible.
Was it as bad as Noble S is having?
Yeah. Went 0-4, so.
Ouch. All right. Well, what is SC going to do? Looks like he wants to do a gasless expand. If you don't make a refinery by now, it means you're going to make a command center. It's just how it is.
Yep, he's building up the minerals for it right now.
Going to put it down on 18. It's common timing for that. Most cases. And there's a pool already. Gas before pool, of course, for Lucky. So he's going to have a little bit quicker zergling speed, or, he can produce roaches if he wants to as well. A lot of times we see, even on big maps like that, if the Terran chooses to do some sort of reactored Hellion as part of their opening, the Zergs have been responding by making, like 5 to 7 roaches to just put some pressure on the opponent and get back that map control that you would lose if you were just making Zerglings.
Yeah, and I mean, sometimes with, with 5 to 7 roaches, with 7 roaches, if they're going more Hellions and they only have a handful of Marines and they don't have a bunker, you can actually just win with that too.
Yeah, we saw Lenok win with that just the other day in one of his games, actually on Daybreak, coincidentally.
And there's the bunker going down, just in case of any such attack.
Yep.
Although
you're going to go gasless expand, it's just always safe in pretty much every matchup to just have that bunker.
Pretty much necessary.
So, it is going to be Zergling speed for Lucky, all right. So, not going to be making a Roach Warren too quickly here. Now, this has been, I feel like it's been overall a pretty good map for Zergs that decide to go for like the heavy Muta style. I feel like Zergs that have done that, been doing pretty well. Looks like Lucky might lose this Overlord though.
He might. It's getting really low on health actually. Down to a couple hits left and
what? I was gonna say.
There we go.
I yelled "what" so loud the Overlord exploded. I'm proud of myself for that.
Your what did 6 damage apparently.
All right.
I do.
There's like little biodomes and stuff around on this map.
Oh, I actually didn't know that.
But like they're not big enough for people to be in, so it's like biodomes for like hobbits maybe?
Huh.
Or
well, as long as it's not Pauly Shore.
Yeah, that's true. He's had some good movies though.
He has?
Yeah, you ever see Encino Man?
I remember liking that. I remember liking that as a kid, but
that's Pauly Shore.
I was a kid at the time, so I'm not sure if I trust my own taste.
Oh, it's still good today, man. That movie is brilliant, actually.
Okay.
That's actually, I don't know, the best comedy.
Didn't that have Brendan Fraser in it too?
Yeah, and Sean Astin too. So.
I don't know who Sean Astin is.
What? Samwise Gamgee, man.
Oh.
You call yourself a nerd.
I'm sorry. I read the books, man.
All right, look at this. Well, first of all, I like what Lucky's doing to see this, but I also like SC's idea. Oh, but SC, he sees both factories. I think, no.
Oh, no, I don't think he did.
Oh, he didn't. All right.
Just barely. The factory floated
huge.
Right out of range.
He's got the right idea, though. He did start a Roach Warren when he saw that reactor going down on that factory, so it's still going to help him out.
Yeah, this could actually turn out really well for Lucky.
Now, I think what SC wants to do here is just make lots and lots and lots of Hellions, We've seen this work before in TVZ. If at first a couple of Hellions don't work, make tons of them.
Yeah.
But don't get supply blocked.
And
right now.
the Zergs have to respond in a couple different ways, and it looks like Lucky is doing the right way. Sometimes Zergs will be like, oh, well, it's okay. I've got Spine Crawler. I've got a bunch of Zerglings. I can just, you know, micro this, and it'll be fine. And then they lose all their Zerglings to 8 Hellions, and then they just die, because at 10 or 12 mark, Hellions can actually take out Spine Crawlers. But if you have that Roach Warren and you get out 7 Roaches, beautiful. Lucky is going to be fine against this.
Should be okay initially, yeah.
Initially, yes.
So it's going to be a lot of Hellions, though, for SC. And I think, though, that Lucky did make the right amount of Roaches. Sometimes you see Zerg players only make like 3 or 5, and against a player like SC who's making just tons and tons of Hellions, you know, that doesn't work quite as well. But I think he's going to be okay. We'll see. Because there gets to be a point where you've just got so many Hellions you can kill Roaches with them. It's not efficient, but it works.
He didn't see the factory floating earlier, but I wonder if he saw the barracks floating away from the reactor and guessed that it was going to be something else landing there. I wonder if that's why he made so many Roaches so quickly.
I like SC's response to all this. So he's like, all right, you're making Roaches, no problem. I'm a Terran player. I can just switch my buildings around. I'm going to go into Marine Tank now.
Yeah, very nicely done. Very good thinking.
Yeah. So both these players are responding pretty well to each other early on.
Man, if only Zergs could tech switch like that too.
Well, they can. They just make a building, then they can make the unit.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I see.
That's a joke.
Seriously.
I actually have that problem where I say straight man jokes too seriously, and people think I'm actually serious about it.
I see.
Too straightly.
I see. So, Lucky's, you know, up till this second right now was still producing Roaches. How many does he have out in the field right now?
Yeah, you're right. He actually has 19 Roaches.
Wow, that is a lot of Roaches.
And actually, well, there's a lot of Marines in SC's base, so he couldn't quite pull off an attack with that, but he does have map control at that. Able to drone up his third base pretty well.
Wow.
And in fact, going up to 64 drones to the only 46 SCVs of SC. SC's SCVs.
Now,
or if you use his full username, SCSC's SCVs.
And SC going into SC style here. Lots of barracks with the reactors, just huge amounts of Marines, a stim, and some tanks to kind of shore that up.
Oh, wow, yeah, putting down 2 more reactors. He's going to have 1, 2, 6, 8, 9 production.
Yeah. This is the guy that beat Lucira. I mean, this is the guy that gave Nestea a run for his money with his style. So he's got very strong TVZ. But will it be strong enough?
Yeah, I remember he beat Lucira just by just overpowering him with just mass Lings on Terminus, kind of the most famous situation of that. And Lings are just not going to be able to do any good on this map with this many Hellions running around, roasting them alive. But the Spire is almost complete.
He just canceled an egg.
Huh.
Why would you do that?
I don't know.
It's just like the saddest sound ever when that happens.
Maybe he, I don't know, I didn't catch what it was, but maybe he wanted to have more gas in the bank for his mutas.
Yeah,
canceled a roach or something like that.
Could be. Accidentally hit the Overlord key a few too many times. That is a big scary push coming out from MVPSC right now.
Whoa, that is a big streak of red on the minimap.
And this is the perfect timing to do. You see this timing all the time in TVZ. You hit right as the Spire finishes, make the Zerg player choose between defending or making mutas, or doing a combination of the two.
Well, SC's going to have to choose to make a choice as well, because he actually doesn't have any turrets up right now.
Yeah, it looks like he chose, to a certain extent, a lot of links, but he's got so much built up in terms of resources. He's still going to be able to make some mutas as well.
He does have a few Banes in there if he can trap those forces.
Just a lot of Roaches as well.
Yeah,
and he's going to flank a little bit with this too, I think. Maybe. No, he's not sending any up there.
This is really interesting. He's just prodding in there with the Roaches, trying to get some damage done. He knows if he gets too close to those tanks, though, his forces will just die, and there'll be nothing he can do about it. Here he comes in, though, trying to save this hatchery with sending in all of his Roaches. Baneling's coming in as well, landing on the tanks, though, and the Marines come in from behind.
I don't think this is the best engagement at all for Lucky.
No, that was a pretty bad engagement indeed.
Yeah, really, really tough to handle that type of thing. The tank spread for SC was really good. He had a lot of Marines. Everything was spread out nicely. Made it very easy for him to beat that.
And for some reason, now he's making the mutas.
Yeah, I don't know if mutas are going to help him out too much here. Even with the harassment capabilities, he's got to worry about this army right now. He doesn't need to worry about doing any harassing.
Yeah, he actually, right before that battle happened, like, he got a little bit indecisive, And he had a bunch of money in the bank instead of units, so that when he actually did charge in, he didn't have enough to break that.
Me too.
So now this battle's over and he's
GG.
lost. There's the GG.
And FXO Lucky falls to 1-2, and MVP SC goes 3-0. You can see by the smile he knows that he's going back to Code S.
Yes, indeed, he is.
Yeah, very, very unlikely that he'll even have to fight in like a tiebreaker situation for his spot. Should be just fine. And Lucky, obviously, very upset with him there, himself there. I mean, he messed up. He saw the push coming. He had plenty of time to prepare for it. Didn't prepare correctly.
Yeah,
didn't engage correctly and lost the game.
And I think you pointed this out as well. I mean, SC just switched his tech up and it's like, all right, well, you're getting roaches to deal with my Hellions, then I'm just going to go back into Marine Tank. And after he made that switch, Lucky kept making roaches.
Well, I was
and
really
kept
surprised
making
about
roaches.
that,
He ended up with like 30 roaches.
Well, I think it was
later
like
on.
you mentioned during the game. You know, he thought that MVP SC was going to continue making those reactored Hellions out of 2 factories, which in that case, you know, you do need a lot of roaches.
You do need a lot of roaches,
he didn't really back it up. He didn't back his decision-making up with scouting. He took a guess. He took a gamble. It was the wrong gamble to make. And that's what happens sometimes, you know?
Yes,
Just make
indeed.
a wrong guess. StarCraft is a game of imperfect information, man. You have to work with what you got.
Yeah, and SC, I mean, he just kept running those Hellions around on the map, prodding with the Hellions, until he moved out with the giant force. So he also kind of kept that information from Lucky as long as possible as well. But yeah, you're right. Lucky just didn't really react with what he needed. He made more roaches. Like, he saw a giant Marine tank ball, and he made more roaches instead of trying to get his mutas out fast or making Lings and Banes, which would have been a better choice, I think.
SC did a really good job of making sure that timing worked out. Looks like it's a 5-minute break, though. I can tell from the screen back there.
Yep.
We'll see you in 5, guys.
See you in a
Don't
few.
go anywhere. This is the GSL.